All right, everybody, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. I kind of just do a quick, I don't know, probably 10-15 minute video on what's going on in the shop, kind of what we've been up to between some of the bigger projects, and actually kind of an update on a couple of the bigger projects. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Something just real quick, and yep, the new shirts are in. If you guys saw the pre-order video, probably about a week ago now, maybe week and a half ago. The new shirts are in. Let's see if I can do this. Oh yeah. Yep, look at that. Fast and free. They look even better than they did on print or on the computer. I think they look awesome. They do have the flag on the shirt too. And the KSR with the wrench. Kind of trying out something a little different on that. But let's jump in and see what all we can find in the shop. All right, well, first car we're gonna touch on real quick is this Honda CRX. And Drew's in it right now, wrapping up the dash bar welding, because Ethan, our electrician, who's done a lot of the electrical work in the building, like all of our updates and add-ons and stuff, he bought this car, and Drew's welding on a Honda.
250 pounds doesn't fit in a Honda, like, at all. They
are a little cramped. Yeah, they are a little cramped. So he bought this car, and it did not have a dash bar in it, and it did not have the rear down bars. So we've still got a little bit of welding work to do on those, and you can kind of see it only had the X to begin with, no downstage or whatever you want to call it there. But you about done with the dash bar?
Yeah, it's wrapped up.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Well, I know we've got just a little bit of work to do left on the top there, and that actually he mentioned like you want me to jump in it because I'm a little smaller than he is as far as getting myself contorted in there to weld, because that bar is really up close to the roof. So you say you need me to get in there and do that?
Yeah, there's no way this is fitting.
Did he call himself fat or did he call me skinny?
Yes.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna see what I gotta do there, and maybe we'll bring you along for the ride. Hold on just a second.
So I might have been having a moment, and we're struggling to weld inside this thing. So I had to call in the big guns. Or little guns, I guess.
whoever could squeeze up in here for sure.
There is no way I was getting up in there.
Yeah, so one of the joys of welding or adding to a cage that's already in there, like this was probably done to where the front part of this cage was welded, and then it was slid forward off of the pedestal so that it could be welded on the top easy. Well, now we're having to add these bars for the car to be legal in another series, and yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, and it's nice and cool today here in Florida, so yeah, we're sweating a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get this welded up and send this one on down the road. Actually, you know what I really need? I need my readers too. right, so you guys probably noticed that I switched shirts. Gotta have a dirty shop shirt, you know how it goes. But it is our Everything Needs a Turbo shirt. So that's probably my second favorite shirt to the American flag shirt. Always gotta be representing, always. So yeah, we are now done with this project. And had a little spot back in there I had to finish welding up. And then these up here, which those, not gonna lie, you can see there's not a lot of gap to work with, but I think I got it all the way around. There might be a little bitty tiny spot that I didn't quite get, but it's welded as far as I can feel it anyways. Over here on this side, there was a little bit of a hole that I couldn't get to all the way up, because if you think about this bar here, it's wrapping around, and then this bar is intersecting with this bar right here. Well, there was a spot kind of up under there that I couldn't get to, so I got it most of the way around, and then we made this little filler plate right here that ties this bar to that bar to that bar, and then it also welds under here to the gusset that was already there. So same deal, welded all the way around, and yeah, that was kind of fun, but I think it turned out pretty good. Still see it's got some color, and I'm sweating a lot. But this one, aside from putting the seat back in and then vacuuming up some of the filings and dust and stuff that we made taking the paint off of the bars before we welded it, this one's done. So let's go show you what else we've been doing besides falling out of the car. So one project that we didn't show anything of, I don't think, is this trailer addition. So we built this tire rack like a year and a half ago, and the customer wanted a box for his race ramps. You know, the things, race ramp sells a bunch of different stuff. I think the first thing they made was ramps that kind of extend your trailer ramps, so if you've got a really low car, you can still drive them up onto the trailer. He's got a Porsche GT3 Cup car, and he wanted to carry his ramps with him but not leave them out in the sun. Had a nice spot to do it here above his winch but below the tire rack, and it's really close to the tire. I mean, he's got larger tires for the front that won't go down quite that far, but we built this whole deal, kind of a custom tire rack deal. It is still removable. You take the bolts out and remove it from his trailer if he decides he ever gonna sell a trailer or something, because there's a lot of time in something like this. I mean, you wouldn't think so, but there's 20-25 hours in building all of this mess with the box, maybe even a little more than that. I know we were all logged in, or the guys were logged in while they were working on it, and then I had some time engineering it and designing it. I don't know if you want to call it engineering it, but at least designing it so that it would fit the trailer. And for me, that's kind of half the battle with a lot of stuff, is getting the design down, at least on paper or something, so that we've got something to work back to. And you know, we've got guys that work for us that if I can draw something out, then they can take my kind of on paper design and run with it, actually build it and finish it out. So got that finished up, and now Drew is working on the destroyed C5. Is that the C5, right? Yeah, so working on the C5 Mustang again.
What? What did you just say?
I just called it a Mustang.
Get out of here.
Wow, I called that a Mustang. C5 Corvette. It's been a long week. And it's been hot.
It's been hot.
So making another A-pillar bar. This is driver's side, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you kind of tell, there's two of them here. Well, we kind of missed the first time, and when it comes to
3 of them.
I was gonna say 3. So The first one was a big miss though. You went the wrong way.
It's totally wrong.
Yeah, first one had a whoops and weren't bending it in the right direction in the middle of the bar, so it started going the other way. It wasn't gonna fit at all. This one just ended up a little short on one end, and so it shifted the whole bar back to where it wasn't even in the car. And you know, we like symmetry, so and we try to get everything as equal as we can get it. So to make it match this bar, basically it landed towards the back of this plate, and there's a mark down there on the plate. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a mark that we want it to where it aligns kind of just like this one does. It kind of makes it easier when we move on to door bars and the A-pillar bars to have everything even. Just makes it a lot even to fit stuff because the notches become straight notches instead of being tweaked or bent one way or the other. But we're gonna try and get the cage wrapped up in this thing by the end of next week, I hope. And then we've got obviously a whole bunch of work to do on Spencer's. Can't remember what we showed on Spencer's last, but got the frames capped up here in the front to start building our frame hoop out and around once we get to that. But we're not far from starting to put bars back in this thing. So over here on the other side, we've got our plot for where the 4-link bracket is going to end up in relation to the tire center line and everything. So that's something we've been working on with TRZ Motorsports, some of their new bracket designs. And we're going to be using all their brackets for this car, kind of a true 4-link design, which you guys know we like to use TRZ stuff as much as we can. I go way, way, way back with those guys. And we're going to be building a pretty serious rear end housing for this car. And starting to get rid of some of these silly bars and actually putting a roll cage in as soon as next week. Like, I'd like to have the #1 bar, which runs across the bottom, and the main hoop and all the bars that are a part of the main hoop. I'd like to have that at least started on by next week. This is Thursday now, so you know, this week's about wrapped up. And actually I'm taking off tomorrow to go to the beach with my kids and Crystal, so I won't be here in the shop. And I know, I think a couple of the guys are also doing a half day. Drew's headed up to the Road America NASCAR race. We were supposed to be there with Lee, and he had an emergency come up last second, and we were not able to go race the car. He's got to stay in Florida for some stuff this weekend, so we're staying here. But Drew already had his flight worked out and all his travel, so he'll be at the NASCAR race at Road America, Wisconsin. So this weekend, or next Monday, is 4th of July. I don't know if I'll have a video out before then. Got to take a little bit of holiday every now and then for, you know, to celebrate and take a little bit of time off. But definitely wish you guys a happy 4th of July, and go out and celebrate with some fireworks, some family, some friends, barbecues, pool, lake, beach, whatever you're gonna do. Go ride around in the woods, do something fun with your friends and family, and remember how awesome of a country it is that we live in. Yeah, we fight and fuss and don't get along with each other all the time, but this is still the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. It's just, we like living here, and hopefully we appreciate the freedoms that we have in this country. But anyways, thanks again for watching, subscribing, and following along. We are closing in on that 300,000 subscriber mark, so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.